Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. Today we have from Marlborough, Massachusetts, a brand new author. And I am getting a tsunami of authors lately, and just hang in there. But this is terrific. He's a children's author. His name is William Smith, and he wrote The Adventures of Jimmy the Little Blue Frog. Aha! One of the things that got me about this book, take a look at the artwork. Those are literal, like almost like, are they children's drawings?
They are illustrations drawn by my niece, freehand.
How old is she?
She is in her 50s.
I thought you'd say 15. I would have bought it.
No. She does illustrations all the time, and so she designed this based upon, and she took the pictures, designed the illustrations from actual photographs that Kathy and I took on the trips that we took for Aiden with Jimmy the Little Blue Frog. So she did. That's Kathy, and that's me. That's Nana
These are
Gravy.
freehand, and it looks like she used colored pencils.
She did.
Which I love.
Yes.
This is amazing. Now, for obviously our viewers don't know, what's the book about? It's the frog, obviously, but what's it all about?
The book is about Jimmy, a little blue frog, who was our grandson Aiden's little friend. This book has taken us 9 years to get ready.
And how old is your grandson now?
He's 15.
Okay.
But when he was like 5 years old, they came to our house in Marlborough, and he brought his little blue frog, and I meant to bring him, but he's only this big.
It's a
little
plastic
frog, yeah.
Yeah.
And he brought it with him, and he loved it, and he somehow or other misplaced it, and was devastated when he left. So several months later, we were going through the basement, and we find Jimmy in a golf shoe.
How did they get there?
We have no idea, no idea.
Yeah.
So we decided to send it back to Aiden, but we decided rather than just sending it in a box, we would write a little story about where he's been for the past several months.
Yeah.
And so we designed some stories as to where he was.
Yeah.
And we wrote them all out, and we sent it to him, and he just thought it was great.
Well, why wouldn't he? Yeah, this is
and
terrific.
So it went a little further. We went to visit them when they lived in Georgia, and he asked us if we would take Jimmy on other adventures, in which we did, to Bermuda and to Colorado and other places. And we took the pictures, and we made an album of it. And from the album, he asked us if we would write a book.
A blue frog.
Little Blue Frog, yes.
And your niece, let me tell you, I mean, it's a perfect picture of you and your wife, because they're adorable.
Thank you.
I love colored pencils. When you saw these, did you think, bingo, she's got it?
Yes. Took us a long time because she did them freehand, obviously. And any changes I had to make, I had to go to the original to add a tree or a flower or a cloud or anything. I would have to send her the originals, and then she would have to redo them. So it was a long process, but it was fun.
And it took you 9 years to do it, and she was
Yeah.
only, well, she's 15 now. She was how old?
40 something, yeah. She was, yeah.
And it's great because those of you who are out there who love colored pencils, his niece had actually drawn the frog and everybody else and colored it in with pencils, but she's a perfectionist, I can tell, because she stayed all within the lines. It's perfect shading.
Yes.
When it finally came out, were you amazed?
I was amazed that I got a call from the publisher that said, we went to committee with your book, we liked the book, we want to publish it. And I was quite amazed that day.
Who did you go to publish it? Oh, Page Publishing?
Page Publishing.
They're one of those little publishing companies?
They are in New York.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how big they are, but they accepted it. I sent it to a few, but they accepted it, and I said, fine. It's like, it was exciting. It was exciting. Then it took us a while to do it with all the editing and, making sure the words are correct, etc.
How many did you order when you ordered them the first time?
The difference is that they only printed up what I would order. So I ordered some for myself, like 20 of the hardcover, 20 of the softcover. It is on Amazon, and that's where they subscribe. They subscribe to Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and they will sell it through that. Other than that, I have to go and knock on doors of booksellers and ask them if they would put my book on the shelf.
So you have appeared where? You were just telling me about it. Where have you been?
We went to Tatnuck Booksellers
Yeah.
in Westboro,
Yeah.
and we had a very nice signing there. About 15 or 16 people came, which was very nice. And then we did the reading for Henry's school, and that's about it.
Did you say you've been to Marlborough Library yet?
I've been to the Bible Library,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, and his school. Have you been to Tatnuck yet?
I went to Tatnuck and Westboro.
Yeah, okay, you did there. Did you go in the big room and give their...
No, I did the signing in the front, out front.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I haven't gotten to the point where I've done an explanation of the book to others, but you have to get involved with that. We intend to go to Martha's Vineyard. There's a bookstore in there that we're going to try. There's a couple in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, that we're going to go next week to try to see if they put it on the shelf.
There's a
So,
lot of different places I can talk about
Yeah.
later with you,
Well,
but
that'd be
there's
nice,
so
yeah.
many places around here.
Yes.
There's a brand new one over in Sutton for children, and we'll talk. We'll talk.
yeah, that's nice.
This book
Thank
is
you.
written for children to get them excited about traveling through the adventures of a little blue frog named Jimmy. William wanted to put Jimmy's travels into a storybook format that children could enjoy. What age range do you think, William?
We think it's from 2 to 7.
Okay.
You could read it. Well, my son-in-law read it to his grandchildren. They were 3 and 5, and that's a good age because then
Yeah.
they can follow through with the story and point out different things.
I know my son's little son. He's going to be, no, he's 5. He's going to be 6. I think this one. I think he'd love this. That
Yes.
picture of you, Grandpa William,
This, yeah.
snorkeling.
Yeah, there's a story behind that too.
What happened?
Well, we were snorkeling in Bermuda, and I brought Jimmy down to put him on the reef so I could take some pictures of him underwater.
Yeah.
And he got away in the current.
The frog.
Jimmy,
did?
Yeah, I sort of let him go, and he started to swim away, and so I had to go
You
catch
could get a
him.
net.
No, I went and caught him with my hand, and I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, if I had lost Jimmy, that would have been an awful thing."
Yeah, I don't know. Would he have forgiven
Aiden
you?
would, my grandson would never have forgiven me.
He would
So,
never.
no.
Is this going to be a new career for you? Children's books? You're a natural.
Thank you, but I had never intended to write a book ever.
Yeah.
But now I have a second one that I've written
Yeah.
for our next adventure
With the frog,
with the frog.
Jimmy
yes.
the Frog. Another
Yes.
adventure.
Yes.
How far are you into this book?
The story is written, and
Yeah.
I've sent my niece all my handwritten or hand-drawn pictures, which are terrible, but so she will make them into the book, into the story.
When will that be coming out?
You know, it's hard to say. This one took me 9 years, but I learned a lot from this one,
Yeah.
having never written one before.
It's not going to take you 9 years for this
It
new
should
one.
not.
You've
It
already
should
got
not.
your feet well wet on this.
Right.
You know. It says on the back, it's adorable. It says, overhearing Nana and Grampy being William, and his wife, tell his mother that they would be taking a trip to an exotic island. Aiden asked them if they could go with, if Jimmy the Frog could go with them on their trip, and that's what happened.
Yes. Yep.
God help you if you lost him.
That's true, and we still have him. I mean, he gave it to us again a couple of times because we returned Jimmy after each adventure, but then he would give it back to us. So
It's amazing
we
you-
have him now.
Not many kids want to part with their love toy.
Yeah. Well, Aiden's 15,
Yeah.
so
Now.
it's a little different with Aiden now than it was when he was 5.
So he wouldn't be quite as mad with you if you lost him at 15.
No, no, but we were there just recently they now live in Florida.
Yeah.
And I have a picture of him reading the book to all his friends in the room. There were 5 or 6 of his friends.
Oh,
He's
I
reading
could
the book
definitely
to.
see
Yeah.
this Cape Cod.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
mentioned Rhode Island.
yes.
Anything near the beach or upper or North Shore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, okay, because look at that cover. You know, that type of thing. Yeah, there's a lot of places that this
Yes.
would appeal to. It's blue is one of my favorite colors.
Oh, it
about
is. Yes.
When you saw the cover finally, were you amazed really, or did you think, wow, I don't know?
I liked it.
Yeah.
We had a few changes in the cover with the plane and the boat.
Yeah.
And I wanted those on there, but when they came out, they were too light, so I wanted them darker. So we sent it back, and they made it darker. So the publishing company does the front cover and
Yeah.
the back cover. So
I love the back.
Yeah.
The hand holding the flag.
Yeah.
It's a duck flag. That's what kids say. Can't say the R's without my flag.
Yeah, he was cute.
Frogs are a lot of fun. My son is in love with this turtle. It's an exotic turtle that he's got. Oh my God! You think, if anything happens to that turtle, he found out that the turtle is not a boy.
Oh.
Yeah, well, they have eggs, and then they're supposed to eat their eggs, or it's a long story.
Oh,
but
gosh, yeah.
I said, "Have you changed his name from Bowser to Bowsette yet?" He goes, "No, he's saying Bowser." Hey.
Right.
So, for children or everybody watching, how old would you say the frog is
Well, he's got to be 10 or 12 years old
now? Right
now.
now, but on his trips with you and your wife, how old would he be?
Oh, 5 or 6. I mean, Aiden had him in his room,
Yeah.
so I don't know how old. He probably was 5 years old. Aiden probably had him for 5 years. So, in this book here, he's not aged. He's just Jimmy
He's just him.
talking about his adventure and trying to make it exciting for other children to go on traveling with their parents or their families.
This
And
is
that's
quite
the
a
idea.
step beyond what William. Now, tell them what you've been doing. You did for work.
I worked in healthcare for 50 years.
50 years, and was it at which hospital?
Well, I ended my career at Winchester Hospital,
Yeah,
a member of Leahy Health.
Leahy Health. They merged, right?
Yes, they did.
They
Yes.
merged together. What did you do there with the healthcare? Were you in the psychiatric center? What were you? Where are you?
No, I was in engineering
Yeah.
and plant
Oh, that's right.
operations
Engineering. Yeah.
and telecommunications. So I ran several departments. So.
Yeah. Did you like it?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah.
And you had no idea Froggy was coming.
None.
None. You had no idea. You'd never written before.
No. No, this was like a sudden thing. And I just happened to do it. And Aiden said, would you write a book? And I
Yeah.
said, okay. So Kathy and I thought about it. And so I just sat down one day and started to write the story. Because we went through we have albums with Jimmy, as you see
Yeah, the
Jimmy.
pictures, yeah.
The one that's in there where he's there.
There he is. Yeah.
Where he's here.
Yeah.
We were actually in an airplane.
Yeah, I see.
And we were taking pictures of Jimmy at the window.
But there are two Jimmys.
Well, that's a little story.
Oh, yeah.
That's
He had to get married.
That's coming later. But we were there, and the flight attendant said, "What are you doing here with Jimmy in the window?"
Yeah.
And we started taking pictures, and we told
You
Kathy.
can't see this, but it is adorable.
It is.
Jimmy DeFrog is looking out. They're taking their regular real tour. They're on the plane. Better you than me. I will not get on one. But there's the little frog.
Yep.
Can you divulge the secret in the cockpit with the two frogs?
Well, what happened was the flight attendant came back and said, "What are you doing?" We told her, and she said, "Well, let me just check with the pilot." So she came back later and said the pilot said you can come up with Jimmy to the cockpit and he can help fly the plane. And so we did. But at the time, we have Jenny, who is his friend.
Yeah.
She was with us at the time.
Yeah.
But most of the story is about Jimmy himself. We haven't got he and Jenny together yet, but there could be a
She had a
sequel.
blue frog with her too?
Yes. No, we had two blue frogs.
You got two.
He had Jenny and Jimmy.
So you've got Jenny as a spare.
Yes, and she looks a little different, but yeah,
That is,
she's
and the
not Jenny.
pilot went along with this.
He was yes, right. And she sat up there, and Kathy went up. Nana went up with him.
Yeah.
And so they sat him on there, and they let him do this and that, and it was kind of weird. It was.
Yeah, because
was
you're looking at a
exciting.
real cockpit here. The
Yeah,
real
it was.
thing.
Yeah. We went inside and and sat him on the equipment, and there they go. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jimmy the Frog, your captain.
Captain speaking.
If
Yes.
you look out the window, you'll
Yeah.
see lots of froggies going by. And here you are. I am Grampy's co-pilot in your car, right?
That's yes.
And then what is this here? A big, huge stuffed bird?
On the way to Bermuda on the ship.
Yeah.
He was with us on the ship,
On the
and that
boat.
is one of the towel animals that they make in your bed in your room. And
You can keep it?
you could, but we took a picture, and that his friend Fluffy Bunny. So it was a little bunny, and so we took a picture and then made them friends, and you see them in there, they're playing checkers together, and
You sure it's a bunny? It looks like it has no ears.
it's a fluffy bunny.
And then what
It's
you do as a person traveling in the cruise, you undo the bunny?
You could, yeah. They had all sorts of animals: orangutans, monkeys, giraffes, elephants. I mean, they had every time you came back to your room after going out, they would have a different one there.
There's a picture of Aiden. Is
That's
that
Aiden, yes.
That's his grandson.
Yeah.
This is well, Aiden, you got quite a grampy. Let me tell you.
It's like
How old was he there?
he was about 6 there, I think.
With his little frog. And
Yeah.
then what? Okay, Jimmy the Frog met a real life turtle.
Right. So what happens is that we took Jimmy wherever we went.
Yeah.
On that scene right there with the turtle, Kathy and I were playing golf, we'll say in Bermuda, and we came up to the green, and there was a turtle on the green. And so always having Jimmy in her purse, Kathy, Nana whipped out Jimmy and put him down there, and so he met other animals. And as you see in the book,
Yeah.
he did meet a
Turtle.
yellow turtle in Bermuda.
And you even got a picture of the ship.
Yes.
And so your niece had all these beautiful photos, and she would make hand draw
Yes.
and hand color.
Yes, she did. Yes. And the next one is a little bit more intricate. It's just, like after you write your first one, I guess the second one's easy. But it's more intricate. It's a trip to the Grand Canyon.
The whole book is about the Grand Canyon.
It's about the trip to the Grand Canyon, in the Grand Canyon, on the Colorado River. All the things.
So the frog is going to travel with you on the river.
Oh,
Are you going
yes.
to go? What do they call it? That fast thing. No, not canoeing. They're in a raft. Rafting, right?
Yeah, he's on the raft.
Are you?
Yes.
You're going to take him with you on the raft?
Nana and Grampy are hanging on for their dear lives, and somebody is up front.
You've done it, or you're going to do it?
Well, we've done it.
Oh, so you've got the pictures
Oh,
already?
yeah, this is part of the story, yes. Yeah.
And when is this coming out?
I
Look at him. I don't know.
I don't. Tomorrow, I would hope, but no, it's hard to say.
You had no idea you'd be writing a children's book in your entire life. You didn't major in anything in college that would indicate this or anything?
No, I majored in psychology and sociology in college,
Okay.
so it did not come into play with this.
You have an ability to understand a child's mind. My mother read to me till I was 8 years old, bedtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could read at 6. And one night she said, Jan, you can read to yourself now. You're old enough.
Mm-hmm.
Darn! I loved it. She'd be the animal. She'd be the
Yeah.
frog.
Yes.
Did you grow up with the Mother West Wind stories, Burgess, Thornton Burgess books? Grandfather Frog
No, I
and Jimmy
don't.
Squirrel?
No.
My mother would be everything. She'd go, "Whoop, whoop," she'd
Yeah.
be the frog, Jimmy the frog. And she just had me. So that's how I love children's books. And my father once said, he says, you understand their world. I do. I never outgrew it. And your book, you got it,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was fun. It was fun doing it, and it was actually a lot of fun reading it to the children.
Yeah.
And I told you I was nervous.
Tell us what your wife corrected you about their attention span. Tell us what that.
Right. That's
Come
right.
on. She was right.
Right. My other grandson, Henry.
Yeah.
He asked. We see him all the time. He's up here instead of down south. So he asked me if I would read the book to his classmates.
Mm-hmm.
So he had talked to his teacher, and she said, "Oh yes, why don't we do that?" So I sent them a book, and then I went and read. But in preparation for that, the 2 weeks before I read to them, I was a nervous wreck. So I went down the basement, and I put up this whole plan together and all this conversation I was going to have with the children, and here's how the story started. Here's everything like we just talked about. And I said to Kathy, "Hey, hon, will you come down and listen to this for me?" And she said, "Okay." So I'm down there, and I'm sitting in a little chair because I wanted to look shiny. And I started to tell her about this, and she said, "Honey, child's attention span is 12 minutes. It's too much. Just go read the book." So then I said, "Okay." I stopped everything and went, and I was a nervous wreck sitting in that little seat in the school, but I read the book, and it was fine. It was
And you
wonderful.
said they were getting close to you like
They were in a semicircle to start with, and then as the book went on, some of them were saying, "I can read, and I can see that page is number 14," and they started getting closer and closer, and by the end they were sitting right in front of me like that, and it was incredible.
See, that's the
But
power.
it was 12 minutes, by the way.
Yeah,
It-
yeah.
it took-
You're lucky you got 12 minutes because
Yeah.
my son would have been. You know how they have book. We're going to have book circle now. Now this was preschool.
Yeah.
No, she says she said to me, your son doesn't really take to the circle too well. He goes off. He's his own man. He'll go into the buffet kitchen. He'll start doing different things.
Right.
I'm thinking, oh yeah, this is what was coming.
Yes.
He wasn't going to be a joiner. He was
Yeah.
going to do his own
Yeah.
thing.
And Nana was right. She was absolutely right.
Yeah.
So it worked out very well. And then the teacher asked the children afterwards what they liked about it, and
Yeah.
two of them stood up and said everything
Oh,
in their own little.
that includes you.
Yeah, well, I guess. I mean, it's like
You-
I was a nervous wreck.
Your face smiles when you talk about it, and children look at
Yeah.
the face and the eyes.
Yeah.
And if they look happy and into it,
Yeah.
you got the trusting face.
Thank you.
You like doing it at the schools?
I enjoyed it. I really did.
You really should go up here to Memorial. I could
Yeah.
email you the different
Yeah.
place, but you know what? You really should get this out there more. Even at at the hospitals, like UMass has a special children's hospital within it.
Mhm.
Okay, that I would think
Yes.
they would appreciate something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have thoughts of that, of going to different
Yeah.
libraries and different schools.
Mhm.
And there's a process that you have to follow
Yep.
to be able to go to schools and to do readings and to
I know.
things. So
Yeah.
we have tried to do everything that we possibly can with the appropriate paperwork, etc. So it's a little more complicated than I had thought it would be. Like walk into a library and say, "Hi, I want to give you a book," and they say, "Thank you," but no, you can't.
No, you
It's
kind
a
of.
little bit more difficult, and I think it's a good thing for the safety of the children.
Sure.
So
Again, how can they get your book?
my book is available on Amazon and also on Barnes and Noble. It's also on an ebook.
Oh, God, what are those computer books?
Yes,
Okay, that's good.
I think I haven't even logged onto it yet myself, but it's on ebook. The company helps you get it on ebook.
Adventures of Jimmy, the Little Blue Frog. And when you read it, I picture that you put a lot of your fun into it, right?
Yes, as you were saying, when you open it up, you say, "Here he is.
Yeah.
Here is Jimmy in the cockpit. Oh, wonderful!" And
Yeah.
you kind of use a frog's voice and that kind of thing. And
And on your cruise ship, you've got him with the captain's hat on.
that's the pilot. That's him in the cockpit. That's how she took that picture from Jimmy
Yeah.
in the cockpit and put it in the
And
cockpit.
put him in the cockpit.
Yes, yeah.
Another place too, William, where this would be not just the hospital, but hospice centers.
Mhm.
Children who are at the end of their life
Mhm.
and they're physically, this would be terrific.
We were thinking about Children's Hospital in Boston to think about maybe going in
Yeah.
and reading it. But as I say, you have to go through some things before you can do that. So we're looking to that. I'd love to do that. I'd love to go in and reach the kids in the hospital.
Too, senior centers are filled with people who have grandchildren.
Mhm.
And somebody would say, well, why would I take my children's book to a senior center? Because a senior center can have grandparents' days.
Mhm.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to keep thinking outside the box.
I'm trying.
Where? That's what I do. So that's me. But
No, that's good. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
that idea.
yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
We do have senior center in Marlboro.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there's all sorts
Yeah.
but even there's just so many things. Now that you've mentioned some of them, I'm
Oh yeah.
actually going to look into
Definitely
that. That's
senior
right.
center, and the ad could say, bring your grandchildren or have a grandparents' day, and then you get up and you do the honors of reading this.
Mhm.
That would inspire a lot of the other grandparents too.
That's an excellent idea.
You know that?
Yes.
Now, were you raised in Marlboro? Were you from Marlboro?
No.
Where
I
did
was
you-
raised born in Boston
Yeah.
and moved to Quincy and then moved to Ashland with Kathy
Yeah.
and then to Marlboro.
From Marlboro.
Yeah.
I know Route 20 pretty well.
Mhm.
Okay. And I know how 85 bisects it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you near where they meet?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know downtown they've got I think I spoke to your Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
I was a featured speaker, and
Oh.
they meet at a restaurant right on that 85, right there near the center of town. It's very modern looking. Is it a
Wellies?
fish?
Oh.
Is it a fish restaurant? I don't know.
Right on
Quite nice.
85.
Yeah.
Not Allura.
I don't know what. I don't even
No.
remember the name of it.
Hmm.
It's a good. It's a pretty good place.
If you ask Kathy,
She'll
she
know.
would know.
She would
Yes.
definitely know.
Yep.
When you went to high school, you weren't writing.
No. I went to North Quincy High, but no, I did not write.
Okay. And in college, nope, nothing to do with it.
Just the papers that they asked me to write, and
And
that's
then you
all.
went into engineering right off.
Yes.
Where were you? Where'd you start?
Peter Bent Brigham Hospital
You
in
were at
Boston.
Peter Bent?
Yes.
How many? What is that? Still Peter Bent Brigham? I never hear.
No, it affiliated. It's the Boston Hospital for Women now.
Oh, is it like the old in Providence, Rhode Island, women's laying in hospital when they had the babies?
The Boston Line and the
Yeah.
Robert Breck Brigham and the Peter Bent Brigham merged back in early 70s.
There was a Boston lying in.
Yes. Yeah, some of my family was on.
I thought it was just Providence, Rhode Island, where I
No.
lived near there.
No, there were 3 hospitals in conjunction with one another.
And then they merged.
And then they merged into one building, which is called the Brigham Hospital for Women.
Boy, things change.
Yeah.
Things really change. So they're from, how long were you at the Brigham?
15, 19 years.
19.
Isn't
Today's
it?
date, when people leave in
Right.
a year.
Well, they merged, and it became.
Yeah. And then it became, and then after you went to, after you left there,
I
you
went to McLean Hospital.
That's the famous psychiatric
Yes,
hospital.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
You were at McLean. I hear some
was.
really good things about McLean.
It was different in those days.
Was it nicer then, maybe?
It was. The type of patient was entirely different. The type of patient we had were from more, we'll say, affluent
I was
families.
just gonna say.
Affluent families, and they had little cottages built for different patients, etc. And then the whole healthcare changed, and the type of patients changed. So
A lot of
it
addiction.
became. And I was in charge of security too, so it was over there.
Did you like that one job?
I liked the job.
You
It was
did.
very nice. It was nice going there.
The
and-
campus looks gorgeous from
Oh, it
pictures
is.
I've seen.
Yes. It
I
was.
think, what was her name? Ted Kennedy's wife. Oh, she went there. Not Joanne Kennedy. I can't think of her.
Joan?
Joan Kennedy.
Yeah.
She went there. I think, well, a lot of famous people went to McLean.
Mm-hmm.
So you stayed there for a while, and then from there, where did you go?
From there, I went to Winchester.
Where you
So
spent?
I've only had 3 jobs in my life.
That's unusual in this day and age.
Yeah,
I mean,
3
even
of them
when I was in my 20s, I was
Yeah.
already hopping.
Yeah.
I was going to different things. I could not stand sitting at a desk for 8 hours. You know, it just. No.
No, each of the jobs required me to be around doing a lot of things and moving around, so
With
it was
people,
good.
with people,
Yeah,
hanging out.
yeah.
I can relate to
different. McLean was different in
Yeah.
terms of knowing and getting to know people.
What was your favorite job before writing this? Your very favorite?
I liked McLean Hospital.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was I was doing 1 or 2 different things. I wasn't doing 15 things.
Yeah.
It was smaller.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The bed size was smaller, so it was nice.
Did you get to know the patients?
I did, but you have to be very careful
Yeah.
that you could not mingle with them or get to
Sure.
be buddy unless you're on staff.
Yep.
So the employees were not allowed to get involved with the patients. I mean, I knew a bunch of some very famous people were there.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
but you're never allowed to say
No.
who was there. So
A Trip to Bermuda, Adventures of Jimmy the Little Blue Frog. William
Yes.
Smith is the author.
Yes.
And, if somebody would like to have you, would schedule you to come up here, can they contact you personally?
they certainly may. Yes, it's William Smith. My phone number is 781-775-9792. And my email address is wcsmith1109@gmail.com.
Now, will you travel throughout New England if you get, do you have any border?
No, I have no borders. No, we're retired, so it's.
And you're going to the Cape, right?
we have plans to go to North Dakota
When?
in June, I think,
June, for about a week or two?
for 4 weeks, and then we're gonna.
4 weeks?
Then we're gonna head for Alaska on a ship, a cruise.
Right
so-
after North Dakota?
Yeah, I think so. Just yeah.
Huh,
So
that's
it's-
amazing.
Yeah.
How are you going to have time to finish your book?
It's kind of interesting. You kind of do it in between. You wake up in the middle of the night and you
Yeah.
have a thought,
Yeah.
and you just write it down, and the next day you start doing it. I refined my book in the past week. I spent the most time in the past week with my book, with the new book.
Well, we've had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah,
Also,
this
look
is fun.
downstairs in the
Yeah.
Upton Library, Adventures of Jimmy the Little Blue Frog. And if you'd like William to come and talk to the kids
Right.
about it, feel free to connect with him.
More than happy to.
You
Yes.
can- It's. I love the way his niece drew the pictures and colored them in with colored pencils.
Yes.
The kids can relate to that. So can this kid.
Yes.
I love
right,
it.
right.
Thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you very much. I
All right.
appreciate it. Thank
We'll see you next time and be my guest.